welcome to my channel. You clicked this video because you're tired of those awkward pauses when you speak English. You want to sound fluent, confident, and perhaps even impress with a strong American accent, and by the end of this, you absolutely will. We're not just learning English, we're igniting a fire of motivation within you. Today, we're diving deep into a powerful technique that will transform your speaking, shadowing. Ever heard of it? It's like magic for your English fluency. You're going to learn how to speak without hesitation, without those frustrating ums and ahs. This isn't just about vocabulary or grammar, it's about building an unshakable flow in your speech. The story of Sarah, from stutter to star speaker. Let me tell you a story about Sarah. Sarah was an aspiring architect, brilliant in her designs, but paralyzed by her English. She knew the words, oh yes, she knew them all. But when it came to speaking, her mind would freeze. Pauses. Long, agonizing pauses. She'd start a sentence, then, nothing. Just silence. Her colleagues would patiently wait, sometimes finish her sentences for her. It was frustrating, embarrassing, and deeply disheartening. She felt her career aspirations slipping away because of this one hurdle. She often imagined herself in important client meetings, presenting her innovative designs, only to be met with polite but confused expressions as she stumbled over her words. The pressure was immense. One evening, after another painfully slow presentation where she felt her face flush with embarrassment, Sarah stumbled upon an old English podcast. It was a story about resilience, about overcoming obstacles, a tale of a young woman who mastered a new skill through sheer dedication. As she listened, an idea sparked. The podcaster spoke with such fluidity, such natural rhythm, a captivating blend of confidence and clarity. Sarah wondered, could I ever speak like that? Could my voice ever carry that kind of authority and ease? She started small. She picked short clips from the podcast. Her goal wasn't to understand every single word. No, her goal was to mimic. To follow the speaker's every sound, every intonation, every pause, or lack thereof. She'd listen to a sentence, then try to say it at the exact same time as the speaker. It felt awkward at first. Her tongue felt heavy, her lips unfamiliar with the new sounds. Her voice would crack, or she'd be a beat behind. It felt clumsy, almost childish. But she persisted. She reminded herself of her architectural designs. They didn't become masterpieces overnight. They required iteration, practice, and a willingness to refine. Days turned into weeks. Sarah dedicated 15 minutes every morning, without fail, to this strange exercise. She'd put on her headphones, find a quiet corner in her small apartment, and become the podcaster herself. She'd repeat phrases, mimicking the rise and fall of the voice, the subtle stresses on certain words. She wasn't translating. She wasn't analyzing grammar. She was simply shadowing. She focused intensely on the melody of the language, the way words blended together, the slight nuances that distinguish a native speaker. Sometimes, she'd even close her eyes, trying to feel the sounds in her mouth, to replicate the muscular movements of the speaker. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, something began to shift. The pauses started to shrink. Her mind, instead of scrambling for words, began to automatically recall phrases. Her tongue, once heavy, moved with more agility, forming sounds she previously found difficult with surprising ease. She noticed she was no longer just repeating. She was anticipating the speaker's next words, almost completing sentences before the podcaster did. Her brain was forming connections, building pathways for fluent speech, much like an architect designs a bridge, connecting two previously separate points. She started to understand that fluency wasn't about knowing more words, but about connecting the words she already knew more efficiently. One day, during a high-stakes team meeting with a potential international client, her boss asked her a complex question about the structural integrity of a new skyscraper design. Sarah took a breath, and to her own astonishment, the words flowed out. No pauses. No ums. Just clear, confident English, explaining intricate technical details with an ease she never thought possible. Her colleagues looked at her with new respect, their expressions shifting from polite anticipation to genuine admiration. Her boss nodded approvingly, a subtle smile playing on his lips. Sarah felt a surge of exhilaration she hadn't experienced in years. The fear was gone. The hesitation vanished. It was as if a dam had broken, releasing a torrent of previously held-back thoughts and ideas. Shadowing had not only improved her fluency but had also instilled in her a deep sense of confidence. She realized that learning English wasn't about being perfect. It was about consistent effort, about embracing a powerful technique that unlocked her true potential. She continued to use shadowing, even after her fluency improved, finding it a powerful way to maintain and further refine her accent and natural conversational flow. Sarah's story is not unique. It's the story of anyone who commits to this incredible method, who dares to push past discomfort and embrace the power of focused imitation. It's the story waiting to unfold for you. Unlocking your own fluency, the power of shadowing. So, what exactly is shadowing and why is it so incredibly effective? Imagine a child learning to speak. They don't learn by memorizing grammar rules from a textbook. They don't analyze sentence structures. They learn by imitating what they hear from their parents, their siblings, their surroundings. They listen, they repeat, they experiment with sounds. Shadowing taps into that same natural, primal learning process, making it incredibly intuitive and powerful for adults. When you shadow, you are essentially becoming an echo of a native speaker. You listen intently to a piece of audio, a podcast, an audiobook, a YouTube video, a news report, and you speak along with it, as closely as possible. You're not just repeating after them, you're speaking at the same time, a fraction of a second behind, like a real-time interpreter. It's about synchronicity. It's about embracing the sound, the rhythm, the entire vocal performance. Why does this work so well? Let's break it down, because understanding the why will fuel your motivation. First, it forces you to focus on the rhythm and intonation of English. English isn't just words, it's a musical language. Think of it like a song with its own melody, its own beats, its own crescendos and decrescendos. There are stresses on certain syllables, natural pauses at commas and periods, and a flow that's crucial for sounding natural and understandable. When you say something flatly, without the natural ups and downs, it can sound robotic or confusing to a native speaker. Shadowing trains your ear and your mouth to move in sync with this rhythm, this natural flow. You start to internalize the natural cadence of speech. This is where that strong American accent begins to form. You're picking up on the subtle nuances native speakers use without even realizing it, the way they link words together, the slight rise at the end of a question, the emphasis on important words. You're not just learning words, you're learning the music of the language. Second, shadowing builds muscle memory. Speaking is a physical act, much like playing a musical instrument or learning a sport. Your tongue, your lips, your jaw, your vocal cords, they all need to be trained to form English sounds effortlessly and rapidly. When you speak, these muscles perform complex, coordinated movements. If these muscles aren't trained, they can feel stiff, uncoordinated, and slow. When you shadow, you are repeatedly exercising these muscles, making them agile and responsive. It's like an athlete training for a race, doing drills to improve speed and endurance. The more you practice these specific movements, the more your muscles remember them, making the act of speaking less conscious and more automatic. This physical training reduces the cognitive load of speaking, meaning your brain doesn't have to work as hard to form each sound or choose the correct word. This directly tackles those pesky pauses. Your mouth knows what to do even before your brain fully processes the next word, allowing for a much smoother delivery. Third, it improves your listening comprehension. To effectively shadow, you have to listen with extreme precision. You're not just hearing words, you're discerning individual sounds, understanding how words are linked together in natural speech, like gonna, instead of going to, and grasping the subtle shifts in tone that convey meaning. This active, focused listening translates directly into better understanding when native speakers talk at their normal pace, even in fast conversations. You start to hear the connections between words, the reductions, and the way native speakers link their speech, making previously fast, indecipherable speech much clearer. This means less "I didn't quite catch that" moments, and more "I understand perfectly." Fourth, shadowing helps you identify and correct your own pronunciation errors. When you try to mimic a native speaker, you immediately notice where your sounds differ from theirs. Are you struggling with a particular vowel sound? Is your th sound off? Do you pronounce r like your native language instead of the American r? Shadowing brings these discrepancies to your attention in a very direct way, allowing you to refine your pronunciation in real time. It provides immediate, non-judgmental feedback. You become your own pronunciation coach, constantly adjusting and improving your sounds until they closely match the native speaker. This self-correction process is incredibly powerful and efficient. Fifth, it boosts your confidence. As you successfully mimic more and more, even small improvements accumulate into a significant sense of accomplishment. This positive reinforcement builds your self-assurance. The more confident you feel in your ability to produce native-like sounds and rhythms, the less likely you are to hesitate or second-guess yourself. Speaking becomes less about fear of making a mistake and more about joyful, uninhibited expression. You'll start to surprise yourself with how easily words come to you, and how natural you sound, which in turn fuels even greater confidence. This creates a positive feedback loop. Better speaking leads to more confidence, which leads to even better speaking. Finally, shadowing helps you develop a more extensive and active vocabulary and grammar structure. While you're not explicitly studying new words or grammar rules, you're constantly exposed to them in context. More importantly, you're actively producing them within natural sentence structures. This moves words and phrases from your passive vocabulary, words you understand when you hear or read them, to your active vocabulary, words and phrases you can readily use in your own speech without conscious effort. You'll find yourself effortlessly incorporating new phrases and expressions into your own speech, using correct grammatical patterns without having to think about them. This is the secret to sounding more like a native speaker, not just knowing individual words, but knowing how they naturally fit together in conversation. Your action plan for fluency. So, how do you incorporate this incredibly powerful technique of shadowing into your daily routine to achieve results like Sarah's? It's simpler than you think, but requires consistency and a focused approach. 1. Choose your audio wisely. Start with something easy and clear. A podcast designed for English learners, a simple audiobook, children's stories or beginner-level fiction are excellent, or a YouTube video with clear narration, like educational content or vlogs with a relaxed speaking pace. As you get better, choose content that genuinely interests you. This makes the process enjoyable and sustainable. The more you enjoy it, the more you'll stick with it, and consistency is the ultimate key here. Don't pick something too fast, too complex, or with too much background noise initially. Build up your speed and complexity gradually, just like you wouldn't run a marathon on your first day of training. Look for speakers with a clear, standard American accent if that's your goal. 2. Start with short segments. Don't try to shadow an entire hour-long podcast at first. That's overwhelming and unsustainable. Begin with just a minute or two. Even 30 seconds is a great start. Repeat that segment multiple times until you feel comfortable. Master small chunks before moving to larger ones. Think of it like building with Legos, small, manageable pieces that combine to form something great. Quality over quantity is key here. It's better to perfect a 30-second clip than to haphazardly shadow 10 minutes. 3. Focus on the rhythm, not just the words. Your primary goal is to match the speed, intonation, and stress of the speaker. Don't worry if you miss a word or two, or if you can't pronounce every sound perfectly at first. The overall flow and musicality of the language are more important in the beginning. Let your mouth feel the sounds. Try to make your voice mirror the rise and fall, the emphasis, and the natural pauses of the speaker. This is where you really start to sound natural, not just correct. 4. Use headphones. This is crucial for effective shadowing. Headphones help you hear every nuance of the speaker's voice clearly, the subtle inflections, the way they link words, the barely perceptible pauses. It also helps you hear your own voice more distinctly as you shadow, allowing for better self-correction and a clearer comparison between your pronunciation and the native speakers. It blocks out distractions and creates an immersive learning environment. 5. Be consistent. Even 10 to 15 minutes a day, every single day, will yield incredible results over time. Consistency is far more important than long, infrequent sessions. A short, daily habit is much more powerful than a sporadic, lengthy effort. Make it a non-negotiable habit, like brushing your teeth or having your morning coffee. Find a time that works for you, maybe during your commute, while exercising, or first thing in the morning. Build it into your routine. 6. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Everyone does. Mistakes are not failures, they are learning opportunities. The goal is progress, not perfection. Embrace the learning process with curiosity and a sense of adventure. Celebrate small victories, like successfully mimicking a difficult phrase or noticing an improvement in your own pronunciation. Every time you try, every time you push yourself a little further, you improve. Don't let the fear of sounding imperfect hold you back from sounding amazing. 7. Record yourself, optional, but highly recommended. This can be an incredibly powerful tool for self-correction and accelerating your progress. Use your phone or a simple recording app. Listen back to your shadowing and compare it side by side with the original audio. You'll be amazed at how quickly you identify areas for improvement, a mispronounced vowel, a missed intonation, or a syllable you consistently rush. This provides objective feedback that your brain can process and learn from, much more effectively than just listening to yourself in the moment. It's like having a personal coach telling you exactly what to adjust. 8. Vary your materials as you progress. Once you feel comfortable with basic podcasts, challenge yourself with different types of audio. Try news reports, interviews, speeches, or even scenes from movies or TV shows, with subtitles initially, then without. This exposes you to a wider range of vocabulary, accents, and speaking styles, making you a more versatile and adaptable speaker. The more diverse your input, the more robust your output will be. 9. Combine with active listening. While shadowing, occasionally pause and try to understand the meaning of new words or phrases. You can also transcribe short sections of the audio to really hone in on individual words and their pronunciation. Shadowing is primarily about fluency and pronunciation, but combining it with active vocabulary acquisition will make your overall English learning even more effective. 10. Find a shadowing buddy, optional. If you know someone else who is also learning English, you could try shadowing together. This can provide motivation and a sense of shared progress. You can even record each other and give constructive feedback. The unstoppable you, embrace the change. You have the power to transform your English. You have the tools, the technique, and now, the motivation. Sarah's story is your story in the making, waiting for you to pick up the pen and start writing your own chapter of triumph. Imagine yourself speaking without a hint of hesitation, your words flowing effortlessly, your message clear and impactful, whether it's in a business meeting, a casual conversation, or giving a presentation. This isn't a distant dream, it's within your reach, right now, fueled by the simple yet profound power of consistent shadowing. Think about the doors that will open for you. New job opportunities, deeper connections with international friends, the ability to travel and truly experience new cultures, the confidence to pursue any goal that requires clear communication. The limitations you once felt due to hesitation will simply vanish, replaced by a liberating sense of freedom in expression. Your voice will become a powerful tool, not a source of anxiety. This isn't just about learning a language, it's about unlocking a new version of yourself. A more confident, more articulate, and more empowered you. Every time you commit to your shadowing practice, you are investing in that future self. You are building the muscle memory, the auditory processing skills, and the confidence that will make you an unstoppable English speaker. Don't underestimate the cumulative effect of small, consistent efforts. Those 15 minutes a day will add up to hours, then days, then weeks of focused practice, leading to monumental shifts in your fluency. What we learned and your next steps. We learned shadowing is a game changer. It helps you speak without pauses. It builds muscle memory in your mouth. It improves your listening. It boosts your confidence. You can speak English fluently. You can achieve that strong American accent. Now, what do you need to do? Start today. No excuses. Pick your audio, something clear and interesting. Find just 15 minutes. Put on your headphones. Press play. Shadow. This small, consistent action will make a huge difference. Your English will transform. You will speak with power. You will be unstoppable. Believe in yourself. Take action. Your fluent future awaits. If you found this helpful, subscribe for more powerful English learning strategies that will change your life. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out. And please, share this with anyone you know who is struggling with their English speaking, who dreams of speaking without hesitation. Let's create a community of confident, fluent English speakers, reaching their full potential together. Your journey to fluency starts now.